In 2008, I was a sales manager and led a team that was responsible for selling subscription services to customers in Eastern Europe, Turkey, and the Baltic countries. This was the second year of a global financial crisis, and the economic conditions were brutal. Against all odds, my entire team overachieved their annual sales targets. As a result of their hard work, they would not only earn commission, but an additional bonus payment. It was also the end of the financial year, which meant I had to complete employee performance appraisals. The managers were given strict instructions to rate at least 2 of their team members as underperformers. I was fairly confident this rule wouldn't apply to my team, since they all had a successful year. I approached my direct manager for clarification and was informed that this rule did indeed apply to my team. He was completely unmoved by my arguments about the unfairness of it. I had a moral dilemma. Would I carry out these instructions, or would I stand my ground and fight against this unreasonable directive? Find the full transcript and other resources for women leaders at livingwhileleading.com/5. You're listening to Living While Leading with your host, Sharon Ehrlich, where I help women IT executives gain more control over their careers and carve out time to care for themselves and family. As a woman executive, you often find yourself grappling with the common challenge of a misalignment of your values and those of the organization you work for. This misalignment can impact your sense of fulfillment and could lead you to feel compelled to behave in ways that go against your basic beliefs. In some cases, you might feel forced to make decisions based on outdated thinking or rigid processes. These decisions could result in the unfair treatment of employees or other stakeholders, such as business partners or vendors. Sometimes this misalignment requires you to support organizational messages which stretch or are entirely divorced from the truth. These sort of conflicts can be disheartening and even downright disturbing. You struggle with an internal debate about whether you can continue to make an impact without compromising yourself. As I mentioned previously, I had to carry out year-end performance appraisals for each of my team members. The implementation of this process in my department didn't apply common sense, nor did it consider the nuances of specific situations. This meant I was required to rate 2 of my team members as underperformers despite the fact that they had overachieved their sales targets. I wish I could tell you that I stood in my integrity and fought and won the battle against this unfair process. Sadly, I didn't. I succumbed to the pressure from my manager to behave in a manner that was in direct conflict with my values of treating people justly and fairly. I'll spare you the details of how these conversations played out, but I will tell you that both employees were blindsided by the ratings they received. They lost complete trust in me. I felt nothing but regret for not vigorously fighting for what I believed in. I learned a valuable lesson about leading authentically. Unfortunately, it was at the expense of others. I provide a service called Own the Room, which supports women in their desire to show up authentically. A resource like that would have been so useful to me back then in giving me the courage to stand in my power. If you're interested in learning more, visit livingwhileleading.com/own-the-room. You're a successful leader, and there's no doubt that at some point in your career, you've had to experience the challenge of finding authentic alignment between your values and what's expected of you in the workplace. Let's explore potential solutions should you again be confronted with a similar situation. Define and clarify your values. Take the time to reflect on what truly matters to you personally and professionally. Identify the principles and beliefs that guide your actions and decision-making. This will provide you with a solid foundation from which to assess alignment with your organization. Communicate openly and seek common ground. In those instances when you're expected to behave in ways that don't align with your values, it's crucial to communicate openly with your colleagues and superiors. Express your concerns and share your perspective. Work towards finding alternative approaches that align with your values while still fulfilling organizational expectations. Challenge outdated thinking. When faced with making decisions based on antiquated thinking, it's essential to challenge those perspectives and advocate for change. Gather evidence, research, and data to support alternative approaches that promote positive outcomes for all stakeholders. Find or create spaces for authenticity. If corporate messaging conflicts with your personal values, seek or create spaces where you can safely share your unvarnished perspective. Engaging in conversations within safe spaces will reinforce your authenticity and give you the power to channel your energy towards initiatives that align with your values. Stay true to yourself. Empower yourself to shape your work environment and create a space where you can lead with authenticity, purpose, and fulfillment. Remember, you are the solution to claiming what's important to you. Thanks for listening today. This is your time. Give yourself permission to reclaim what's important to you and be who you want to be. If you're getting value from this podcast, please subscribe, share it, or write a review. And connect with me on livingwhileleading.com or on LinkedIn. And don't forget to tune in next week.